The biggest thing with Maish, for me, is he's much more than a friend. He's almost family, because it's somebody that, what I respect a lot is a person's word is their bond. And dealing with Maish in a business sense, in a friendship sense, and as president of the shul, nobody gets higher marks. I've never been more comfortable in dealing with somebody and having that trust element, which is very important in any relationship. And Maish Staiman brings that trust into a relationship. With me, especially now, having done what I'm doing for the last 45 years, it's charitable. People who are charitable and appreciative are the only people I really want to deal with. Well, Maish Staiman, you can look in a dictionary as far as charitable and appreciative. And it's just a pleasure. He's made my life in business, personally, incredible. So I'm so pleased that the young Israel, who I've been involved with for 44 years, has had the wisdom to choose such an incredible guy to honor.
Well, the thing about Maish is that he basically set an example for me for how to be president during the most placid and non-controversial times in our shul. He really didn't have very many challenges while he was president, so I feel like that was a good example for me.
Yeah, Ed, when you are to become president, you kind of know you're going to be asked, because you move up the line. You're vice president, then you become, your treasurer, your secretary, and then you become president. And as that time was coming, he was very concerned about it. And I told him, as scary as it may seem, it's something you're never going to regret. For me, it was very meaningful in my life. As difficult as it could have been at the time, looking back on it, I'm so pleased that I was president. And I told him the same thing. It may be tough getting through, but you're going to be very, very appreciative of the fact that you were. And just recently, he gave me a big hug and told me he got what I meant. So, that's all I needed to hear.
Sukkot was coming, and having just moved into the community, I obviously didn't have a sukkah, though thankfully I had 3 rolls of schach left behind by the previous owner of my house. But I needed a sukkah to put the schach on. So Maish Staiman, who was the president at the time and I'd gotten to know well, as he'd been the one who drove me around to different schools to check out the community when I first came down to try out for the position, he so graciously offered. He just came and said, "Hey Rabbi, do you have a sukkah or do you need help?" And somehow we got to talking, and I said I had no idea what I was doing. And he told me I couldn't just get any sukkah, it's Florida, I had to get a Florida sukkah. And so we trekked off to Home Depot in his little car. I didn't really understand what we were doing, but somehow we came back with half an hour later with an entire car full of PVC piping and 2x4s. And then he sat there with me and helped me construct this sukkah, which looked to me like I don't know what, but thank God 3 years later we've had a beautiful sukkah. Kitty corner to me and Maish share a backyard, or kitty corner to each other, so we can sing and hear each other singing through our Florida sukkahs. And every year I'm appreciative of the fact that he helped me build it. The first time he's actually helped me build it. Since then, almost every year helps me put it up. And I think that warm and generous spirit of giving to others, of helping others, especially working with his hands, and I see him doing it every day to maintain our shul building, together with Joey Batesh on the house committee, but also helping people in all sorts of ways. I know he's done that for me personally, and I'm sure he does that for so many others. And I'm definitely, me and my family are really appreciative of what he's done for us.
And when he was president, I thought he brought an incredible skill set to the presidency. He cared about people. He cared about Yiddishkeit, and he put his money where his mouth was. And not to mention the fact that, what has he done for the shul? He's been in charge of the shul for a lot longer than he was president. So having been a past president, understanding what a thankless job it is, okay, he's taken it to another level. And I'm glad I had something to do with him being president. So as far as I'm concerned, from strength to strength, he should only be well, in great health, incredible family, and he does stand as a mentor to the entire congregation to live up to this kind of stewardship.
Maish Staiman, I think he's become a little too Hollywood.
I love my shul. I love my community. I've never received an honor like this before.
What took you so long?
I want this evening to be really special. You know, the shul doesn't honor just anyone. They chose me for a reason, and I want to make sure I get my lines perfect.
Give me my daughter back.
And of course, I'll need to look just right. Tell me honestly, is the hair a little too much? My parents and grandparents, as far back as I can tell, have always been highly involved in their communities. I'm humbled that the Hollywood community has chosen to honor me this way.
Mazel tov to Maish on being honored, but I don't know who he is. And I can't understand why he's asking me, because I'm the rabbi of Young Israel of Century City, not the Young Israel of Hollywood.
It's been a pleasure watching Hollywood grow over these past 2 decades that we've been here. Our shul has been growing by 50 families a year, and our community is known for its outstanding Hachnasas Orchim.
Young Israel Hollywood is the fastest growing and the largest growing shul in the continent, in the whole OU family, despite the fact that Maish Staiman was the president.
一个非常著名的景点，所以我们选择它作为来洛杉矶的第一个观光地点。
One of my greatest joys is when the Young Israel of Hollywood hosts BMA and YHS for the annual Slichos event. To see a room filled with young people so inspired and filled with ruach brings tears to my eyes each and every year. Serving as House Committee Chairman, I've had lots of opportunity not only to make sure the building doesn't fall apart, but also supporting beautification efforts like the Family Planting Day last December. I'm especially proud of all of our palm trees. Thank you for this well-deserved honor. Thank you to the rabbis for your sound leadership and to the board of directors who reached out and grabbed the torch of leadership before my hand could get too badly singed. I want to thank the shul for recognizing my efforts over the years with this gala Hollywood All-Stars event. This community means so much to me, and to be an integral part of its growth is so very rewarding. Avi, yeah, it's Maish. I'm here at Cedar Sinai. They're telling me they have no ballroom here at the hospital. What? Temple Sinai? Hollywood, Florida? Oh, God. I'll be on the next flight. Hey, it's me again. A couple things that I wanted to say that didn't quite fit into the theme of the last video, so here we go. Thank you to my family who's come out here tonight to help me celebrate this honor. Thank you especially to my wife Tzivia, who's been my partner, my confidant, my editor, my moral compass for the last 35 years. Thank you. I couldn't have done any of this without you. One of the most touching moments of my presidency was the year that we had the annual dinner that honored our veterans, both the US and the veterans of the IDF. We had 2 incredible speakers that night. Gideon Lichtman, who was a 93-year-old who had served in World War II as an Air Force pilot, and then joined the State of Israel with their original Air Force. What an incredible man. Our second speaker was Brian Mast. What an incredible individual. He served as an Army Ranger, and in Afghanistan he sustained major injuries that included the loss of both of his legs. After recovering, he went on to volunteer for the IDF. He's not Jewish, but he held the same ideals as us. At the end of the evening, when Gideon Lichtman was done speaking, Brian Mast stood up on his prosthetic legs and gave him a standing ovation, which brought a tear to my eye. What was even more incredible is that when Brian was speaking, 93-year-old Gideon Lichtman stood up to give him a standing ovation. It was a beautiful moment, one that I'll never forget. And as for my biggest regret, during my presidency, I oversaw the rabbinic transition. It was a sound plan. We were going to give everybody a say in how things went down. We were going to pay the utmost respect to our rabbis. There were times where that process fell short, and for that, I am regretful. Mazel tov to my fellow honorees. It's been a great 20 years, and I look forward to spending the next 20 years with you.
Maish Staiman. What about Maish?
Maish Staiman. Moshe Staimanov? No, Maish Staiman?
Staiman.
Maish Staiman. Oh, he's not a Sephardi. I never heard of him.